Hey, this is Sam Black with my first match with Jund Reanimator in Standard. I don't think I can keep 6 lands and a Dragonlord Mulligan, so I'm going to start off with the Mulligan here. And this looks much better. I don't think I need to draw Wooded Foothills. I have 3 lands to get to Courser, and then Courser can kind of help find lands, and I'm likely to draw another land anyway. Alright, that's fine. I'm prepared to fight a value game with these commands, so not terribly sad to see my opponent spending time reading Bones. There's almost an argument for not playing Courser here, so that I can play a land off of it immediately. But I think that because I have the Mulligan's commands, I'm good just spending time fighting over getting this thing back. So I'm gonna cast it. Was a Crackling Doom. I guess I'll just cast Nyx Weaver. Let's pop out these graveyards. Anger of the Gods. Alright, it's going forever. And there's no reason to crack this Wooded Foothills now. And that's a good draw. I definitely don't want Swamp. I'm trying to decide if I want to scry Swamp to the bottom or crack Wooded Foothills with the scry on the stack to get to scry. I think it's better to just scry it to the bottom and then use Wooded Foothills as a scry that I can use whenever I want. I think my hand is actually... I think I'm fine drawing Llanowar Wastes. It's not optimal, but I think it's not worth using my fetch to get rid of it. I have to decide if... I don't think I want to draw another Dragonlord Atarka. I have one and I need another mana to play it. I think I'm going to crack Wooded Foothills now to look for a land on top. That's not the best. Attack. And I think I'm going to play Tasigur. I don't like that I can only leave 3 mana up, which isn't enough to activate it, but I like that 3 mana is enough to get it back with Mulligan's command if my opponent kills it. And I think I'm fine delving away that Courser that I could get back. Okay, that's disappointing, but fine. So Tasigur dies, and then I'm just gonna get Tasigur back and make my opponent discard. And now I have enough mana to play Caryatid and Tasigur. Now I have a lot of options. I could just cast Dragonlord Atarka, but I don't love that. Although, I guess it makes my opponent use a removal spell and then I have Fearsome Awakening for it. I would like to get something out of its trigger though. I can't command Tasigur and play it, but I can command Tasigur and play it later. Or I could just Fearsome Awakening Tasigur. But I think Fearsome Awakening is better as another Dragonlord Atarka than another Tasigur. So I guess I should just cast Dragonlord Atarka. Then my opponent will kill it, and then I'll be able to Fearsome Awakening it. Liliana. Tutoring. Alright, well, I think it's pretty clear that I want to attack my opponent rather than Liliana. I shouldn't have played that land. Now if I want, I could play Command and Tasigur, but I'm not sure what kind of answer my opponent has, and I don't want to have to discard the Fearsome Awakening. So I think I just pass. Playing that Bloodstained Mire was a real mistake. Didn't really think about the Liliana. So now I have to discard either the Fearsome Awakening or the command, or I can cast the command for a little bit of value and discard the Tasigur, or cast the command and then discard the Fearsome Awakening. I think I'm supposed to cast the command. I don't really love any of the modes. Like I'm going to get to either make my opponent discard a card or do 2 damage to my opponent. I think given that my opponent is a dead 1 hit from Atarka, the best I can do is probably discard. So you discard, I get Tasigur. Red, black, close. And I don't think there's any reason that I would keep Tasigur rather than keeping Fearsome Awakening, since I could just Fearsome Awakening Tasigur. Garrick. All right. Oh. Okay. Well, I'm very Atarka rich. I think I actually want to kill Liliana. And then I might as well do 1 to Garrick. I played the one from my hand rather than the one from my graveyard because this is half his life total, and this might let me play this and something else next turn. Dragonlord Dramaka, okay. So I'm just going to attack my opponent. And then cast Fearsome Awakening on the Dragon Lord Atarka, even though I'll have to lose my other one. Keep the 10/10 and do 3 to the Beast and 2 to Garrick. That's not good. Ooh, that's very bad. That's interesting. I think it's just barely not good enough. Let's see, I can cast it. And then I can block Dramaka and sack it to get Atarka. Or to get Fearsome Awakening, I guess, so that I can cast something else also next turn. And get a bigger Atarka. The problem is that Atarka can't kill either of those if they come into playability, and then there will be 2 lethal attackers. So I needed to draw something else. Yeah, I can only put this to 1, so there's nothing I can do here. This is an interesting matchup. Definitely set up to grind, so I'm gonna go that way also. Bring in Raptors and Protectors. My opponent has Anger, but I'll bring in Thoughtseize, and it's not clear that my opponent will leave Anger in. Foul-Tongue Invocation seems pretty good against a deck where the only creatures I saw were Dragon Lords, as does Murderous Cut. Now, the question of what I want to sideboard out is a little trickier. Surak seems really bad. Mulligan's pretty weak also. Come into playabilities seem really important. Although Haste is a nice one against all those planeswalkers. Maybe I was too hasty on that one. I think I don't need Commune. I think I don't need to work that hard to get things in my graveyard, which I guess also speaks to not needing Nyxweaver, which also helps mitigate my vulnerability to Anger. I like Command because I want anything that just gives me value like that. I think Caryatid is likely a liability. It gets swept up by Anger and Crux of Fate, and I think I just want to be more threat dense. I'm a little bit worried about, having a really high curve and not as much mana, but I think that this is the kind of matchup where it's okay to be a little mana light, because it's so attrition focused. So I'm much less milling, so I think I just decrease my focus on Fearsome Awakening and then trim a Dragon Lord. And I guess since I have less mana, I'll trim an Atarka. Yeah, let's try this. This looks pretty good. I don't think I need this, especially at the Wayfinder. I think I can afford to play this on turn 4, so I'll take the scry. And I also put a Mulligan in my graveyard, which is pretty great for this Fearsome Awakening. Sand is pretty resistant to Thoughtseize, as is the nature of Den Protector. And a Thoughtseize of my own, which I don't see any reason not to cast here. Crackling Doom, Planeswalker, Dragonlord. I think I just want to get rid of the Crackling Doom, leave my opponent with no answers to my Fearsome Awakening to call again. I want a land, but I don't think I can turn down a Den Protector next turn. Despise, okay. That doesn't get the card I care about. Now I know that my opponent doesn't have any removal in hand, so I think it's totally fine to just cast this Den Protector face down. Especially since once I hit 5 mana, my mana is busy with Fearsome Awakening. Now I have to decide if I'm worried that my opponent has Sorin and didn't cast it, which means that it's likely that it drew a removal spell. So I could just, yeah, I think I just flip Den Protector and cast Thoughtseize this turn. Let's attack first, I suppose. Yep, drew a removal spell, so playing around that was pretty good. Now I could hold off on the Thoughtseize to try to nab a removal spell next turn, but because I'm not guaranteed to have the mana to do it, I think it's better to just do it now and hope that my opponent doesn't draw a removal spell, and I can just take Sorin here so that they don't have a play next turn. Okay, dead to call again. I like the way that that worked, so I'll just stay as is. This looks fine on the draw, especially in a matchup where I'm fine being spell heavy, but I'm definitely looking for a land here, so I'll put this on the bottom. That was great. Against like a counterspell control deck, I would just cast Den Protector here, but I think that in this matchup it's less important to get ahead on board and more important to just have more resources in the long run, so I'm going to save Den Protector as a morph. Though I actually think that this hand is so skewed it might actually be worth playing early, especially since putting it in the graveyard lets me cast Tasigur, and I have 2 of those. I've actually talked myself around. I'm just going to play it. I'm so far from, like, I think it's so likely that if I morph it, it'll get killed before I get to flip it anyway, that I'd rather just get it getting some damage in or powering out Tasigur. But I think that it's worth noting that this is a really exceptional circumstance where I would not usually do this. But it ate a Crackling Doom, so that's pretty awesome. And with that in the graveyard plus Wooded Foothills, I can just cast a Tasigur. Even if I don't find another land. Which I apparently certainly will not. I'm definitely not going to Fearsome Awakening Courser, and I'd rather get back a Den Protector with something else. So I'm going to get rid of the Courser and leave Den Protector. Den Protector is a fine thing to return with Tasigur, really. Getting done tap with Tasigur in this matchup seems great. That's what happened. Okay, so I don't see any reason not to just do this. Well, I guess I might as well attack. Milled 2 lands and got my Den Protector. Great. Okay, that's easily answered if I draw a land for... Oh, it went down to 1. Okay, that's fine too. Now I have some options. I could Tasigur and activate it, but then I have to find a way to fight through Elspeth. So I think the correct option is pretty clearly to get Forest with this so that my other fetch isn't dead. Oh, there's another swamp anyway. Okay. Do I want a swamp or a mountain? I guess I want a swamp. So I'll just cast Mulligan, kill Elspeth, and then I have Fearsome Awakening to get Mulligan back. And I can actually Fearsome Awakening, Mulligan, and cast Tasigur in the same turn, and then they'll both have haste. And that's pretty awesome. I might as well just kill Elspeth. I don't want to have to fight through those tokens. Thoughtseize is a good start in that my hand is very good, but especially with Den Protector as backup, I don't think it's sufficient to fight through this in any meaningful way. Oh, wow. It's hard to remember Mulligan's other ability because it comes up so rarely, and so my opponent just killed themselves with this Elspeth. That's not something you get to see very often. That's pretty awesome.